But we're focusing today on the Vishuddha Chakra. Yesterday, if you missed yesterday's class, I explained all about the Vishuddha Chakra, the traumas and the challenges that block the chakra, what a deficient chakra looks like, what an excessive fifth chakra looks like, what a balanced fifth chakra looks like, and why it's important to work towards balancing these chakras. So I highly recommend for those of you who are really doing the deep dive in this immersion to make sure you go back and check out all that information. Plus also for those of you who are on the Wisdom Pass and the Chakra Immersion Pass, you should have gotten the packet for this week. If you didn't, reach out to Jessica at info@seanecorn, info@seanecorn.com, and she'll make sure that you get that. And that has a lot of questions and additional information. Sorry, just a second. Okay, I'm good. I thought for a second my leggings were inside out, which wouldn't be the first time I've done that, but I'm good. So go ahead and sit up tall. Place your palms onto your lap for Dhyana Mudra. Shoulders relaxed down the back. Close your eyes. Take a moment to track your body. Any sensation that you feel. And just take a couple of breaths. And I'm going to get up because I can see that my computer is not actually plugged in. And I don't want to take the risk of it running out of juice halfway through. Okay. Glad I saw that. So track your body. Bring your awareness straight down to the Muladhara chakra. Recognizing the importance for stability, foundation, roots, connection. Bring your awareness to the lower part of the abdomen, the Svadhisthana chakra, recognizing the importance for survival. Developing the strong psychological boundaries necessary in order to navigate seductive forces like sex or drugs or money or alcohol or relationships. Bring your awareness to the Manipura chakra, right at the solar plexus. Recognizing the importance of individuation, of developing good self-confidence, good self-esteem, calling our power back from the places where we've been disempowered or invalidated. And bring your awareness to the Anahata chakra, recognizing the essential and necessary experience of love as an aspect of our own psychic, emotional, and spiritual survival. And then bring your awareness to the throat chakra, to the Vishuddha chakra, purification. The element of sound and the shadow lies. It's that bridge between our body and our head, between our felt experience and our wisdom, our knowledge, our imagination, our intuition. It's from this point that we create, where we choose. And where we communicate who we are, what we desire, with the world around us. And so much can block that throat chakra and keep us from living our truth. Keep us from being fully honest to ourselves, to each other. And our work is to heal the limiting beliefs that we carry within our personal narratives that have blocked our ability to express and kept us from truly speaking up and out in our lives. Place your palms into prayer, Anjali Mudra. Calling in the God of our own unique understanding, we ask, may this practice be an opportunity to release the tension that has bound us in the throat chakra, keeping us from our self-expression and our ability to communicate effectively, wisely, effortlessly, lovingly to ourselves and to each other. We ask, may we find our voice and speak our truth. And may the words that we speak be useful and supportive, activating and soothing. May the words we speak be words of love and compassion, empathy, and peace. And then together we offer this blessing with one single Om. Take a deep breath in. Release your hands. You're going to find your way into downward dog. Grab your block. Put the block between your thumb and index finger. I'm going to keep my heels away from the wall. Separate the feet hips width apart. Index finger presses up against the side of the block. Push down into the hands to elongate the arms. Allow the ears to come along the inner upper arms, and then descend the heels downward towards the ground. And breathe. Walk your feet to your hands. Bend your knees a little bit. Take the block, put it between your inner upper thighs. Press down into the feet. Then press the tops of the thighs back, straightening the legs. Lift the toes up off the floor. Spread your toes. And then lay the toes back down, trying to create some space between each toe as you do. Feel the weight evenly distributed across the pads of the toes and the heels. And then bend the elbows a bit. Relax the head and neck. And you can keep your fingertips on the floor. Of course, you can put them on blocks. My interest right now is just with that neck. So maybe just like turn your face towards your left arm a little. And then your right, just moving over the cervical spine. Maybe just nodding, just yes. No. And then let the head release completely. And then you're going to inhale, look up, bend your knees a little bit. You're going to release the block, put the block to the side, hands to the hips. Inhale, come up to stand, come into Tadasana. Coming into Tadasana, separate your feet hips width apart. Allow your right ear to drop towards your right shoulder. Pull the left fingertips downward towards the floor, creating as much space as you can between your left shoulder and your left ear, that soft tissue there called the trapezius. Inhale, bring your head back to neutral. and then drop your left ear to the left shoulder, extending, reaching through the right fingertips, stretching into that space between the neck, or rather between the ear and the shoulder. And bring your head back up to neutral. You're going to turn around, face the wall, come into box on the wall. Ankles underneath the hips, wrists on the same line with the shoulders, straighten the arms, let the head and neck release. So normally I might teach this with the ears alongside the upper arms. This time I'm going to ask you to drop the head, stretching the back of the neck as you do. Inhale, come on up. Walk towards the wall, come into Tadasana. Turn around, grab hold of a block. From here, you're going to put the ball of the left foot up onto the wall. Step your right foot out a bit. So we're coming into crescent. You're using the wall here so that as you push into the left heel, the left hip rotates forward. The tailbone draws in, so you're opening up into that psoas. Bring a block forward between your hands. Draw the shoulder heads back. Bring your arms up over your head. Bend the knee a little deeper. Go up to 90 degrees if you can. And breathe. The neck is even on all sides, all four sides. Keep the shoulder blades pulling away from the ears. See if you can do this and relax the tension in your mouth, throat, and jaw. Straighten the right leg. From here, you're going to bring your arms forward, then release the arms. And then you're going to put your left hand onto the wall behind you, turn your feet in parallel, and then step your feet together. Switch. So now you're going to put your right heel up onto the wall, and then just as gracefully as you can, squiggle your left foot forward. You rotate that right hip forward. I'm really interested in opening up the psoas a bit. We're not really going to do a lot of standing poses in this class because we're going to move towards a pose called Matsyendrasana, fish pose, as well as different shoulder stand and Setu Bandha variations. So I want to open up the psoas a bit in preparation for that. So making sure that the hips are aligned and the tailbone draws in and the back leg is straight is key. The left knee bending, that's really dependent upon the mobility of the psoas muscle. Bring your arms forward, hands holding the block, and then arms up over your head. Then bend the knee while you push your right heel into the wall and breathe. Straighten the left leg. Arms forward, release the block. You're going to reach your right hand to hold the wall, put your fingertips on the wall, and then turn your left foot in. Your right heel comes off the wall, feet together. Tadasana, take a breath here. Now from here, you're going to put the block up onto the wall, on the floor. You're going to put your right foot onto the wall. From here, you're going to step your left foot slightly forward. Get your right heel on the wall, the ankle, the knee, the hip on the same line. And then you're going to put, you can either use one block or two. I'm going to grab my second block just because I like the symmetry of my hands being exactly shoulders width. Again, it's a Virgo thing. Doesn't really matter, but when your hands are on the one block, you can see it brings the wrist closer. It doesn't give this as solid as a base as when you're working with the two blocks. Shoulders down the back, chest forward, belly lifts. Now I'm not letting the head hang here. I want to draw the head forward, so this is actually going to increase the strength of the neck, just giving some more just stimulation to the muscles that support the cervical part of our spine. And then release your right foot to meet the left. Bring your left leg up. Reposition that right foot if you need to make sure that the ankle is under the hip. The wrists underneath the shoulders, chest forward, shoulders down the back. And then bring your left foot to meet the right. Separate your feet hips width apart. Relax your head and neck here and fold. Put your hands onto the floor. And again, just shake your head a little bit with the yeses and the nos. Just releasing any tension in the neck. And then bend your knees a little bit. Take that, grab a strap. Take your block, put it between your inner upper thighs. You're going to take the strap and grab a hold of it with your hands, maybe about a foot between the wrists. And then straighten the arms, straighten the legs, and relax that neck again. Bend your knees a little bit. Bring your hands back towards the sacrum. Release the strap. Release the fingers to the floor. Inhale, look up. Grab hold of the block. Release it. And then hands to the hips. Flat back to stand. Come into Tadasana. Take your right hand and you're going to bring your right hand over your head, grabbing hold of your left ear, like side of the head, And just gently use your hand to pull your head closer towards the shoulder, and then pull that left shoulder away. So my left arm isn't hanging, it's actually kind of extending. And then bring the head to neutral. Right arm releases, left arm reaches over. Grab hold of whatever you can on the side of the head and gently guide the head without torquing it. Just guide it down and then reach through that right arm. Extending through the fingers. And then come back up to neutral. And then grab hold of your chair. Open it. Sit at the edge of the chair. Put a block between the knees. Left hand onto the side of that right knee. Right hand behind you. Left hip rotates forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And then you're going to turn your head. Look out over the shoulder. I use my right elbow against the wall just to help get the shoulder to pull back. Also, this increases the movement in the neck. So just bring your awareness to the twist in the cervical part of the spine. Notice the range of movement on this side. Again, soften any tension in your mouth, your lips, your jaw. And then face forward. Right hand to the outside of that left knee. Left hand behind you. Bring your elbow against the wall if you can. Inhale, lengthen, and then turn. Notice if it feels tighter on one side than it does the other. Turn a little bit more in the neck if you can. And then face forward. You can remove the block, keep your hands onto your knees, but lean forward. You're going to take a deep breath in. Exhale with a lion's breath. Do that again. Deep breath in. Exhale with a lion's breath. Then come up to stand. You're going to remove the chair. Grab a block. You're going to put the block onto the floor in front of you and spread your legs apart. Inhale, lengthen. You're going to lift the inner ankles. Feet are flat. Thighs lift. And then fold and place the head onto the block. So you might need to position the block in different ways in order to get the top of the head to rest onto the block without your chin being all like, without there being a curve in the back of the neck. So lower it until you feel, and for some of you, if you're more mobile, putting your head directly on the floor is fine as well. But you want the very crown. Not quite the very tip, like forward of the crown slightly. Otherwise, sometimes if you go right to the tip of it, it pulls the chin in too much. So this way it makes it more even. Hands are just onto the floor, elbows bent. Hold here. Now inhale, walk your hands forward. You're going to move the block. Actually, you can keep the block on the ground and put your right hand onto the block, left hand onto your lower back. The wrist is right underneath where your sternum would be. Keep the hips level, open the chest, then turn the neck and bring your left arm up, making a twist. Exhale, bring your left hand down. Right hand onto the lumbar, keep the sit bones level. Lengthen the chest, begin to revolve the torso, and then turn your head. Bring the right arm straight up. And exhale, both hands down. Inhale, lengthen. And again, relax the head and neck as you fold, top of the head down, grab your ankles. Inhale, look up, hands to the hips, flat back to stand. Bring your feet together. From here, you're going to take shoulder rolls, going forward 3 times. Chin is slightly down, and then in the opposite direction. Not noticing any tension in the neck. And then bring your neck back to neutral. Take a moment. From here, you're going to take your block, put it onto the floor. Put your left heel against the wall. Bring your right foot forward, heel to heel. Put your block to either the inside or the outside of the foot. You're going to put your left hand onto the block. The right hip pulls back. The chest elongates. Revolve the chest. And then again, you're going to turn the head. Bring your right arm up. The gaze comes right up to that right thumb. Keep breathing. And then exhale, both hands down. Bend your right knee a little bit, hands to the hips, flat back to stand. Bend your right knee a little bit again, and then step your left foot to meet the right. Samastitihi. Switch sides, bring that right heel back. Put the block wherever it's best positioned. You can keep it on the highest height or the lowest. Because I'm really interested in just the freedom of the neck, I'm actually keeping the block higher so that I'm not having to work the muscles in the spine as much, and I can bring my awareness more to the neck itself. But it really doesn't matter. It's what you want to do. and what works for your body today. Square up the hips, lean forward, right hand onto the block, left hip pulls back, both legs remain engaged, chest forward, you open up the chest, turn your head as you bring your left arm straight up, let the right shoulder pull down the back, and breathe. Exhale, look down, hands to the ground. I have one hand on the block, the other hand on the ground. Bend the knee, then hands to the hips. Come on up, and then step your right foot to meet the left, Tadasana. From here, you're going to bring your right ear to the right shoulder, and then gently let your head drop back. Bring your left ear to the left shoulder, and then let your head come forward. And then reverse, left ear, left shoulder. Drop the head back. Right ear, right shoulder. And head forward. And then come to neutral. Okay. Now from here, I'm going to grab a blanket. Oops. I'm going to also grab a strap. I'm also going to grab, my block is covered in conditioner. Let me wipe that off. You're going to put the block on the floor between your feet. Toes are up against the wall. Feet are hips width apart. Make sure I know my sequence here. I'm going to bring the strap up to the shins. Let me move my mic even more. And then I'm going to lay back. Now I want to adjust this a little bit. My head is going to be on the ground. My shoulders right at the edge. But I also want to come in closer. Then you grab the strap, get a good grip. Press down into the floor and lift. Get the shoulders underneath you. Oops, I want my strap up a little bit, like mid-shin. So you're going to pull against the strap and then work. My upper arms are on the ground, so are my elbows. So I'm actually pushing down into the elbows and in the upper arms and then lifting the hips. Take some breaths. And then release it. Widen the shoulders away from the midline. Release the strap for a moment. Take a breath. And we're going to do this again. Keep the good grip. Press down. I'm going to use while I've got another block, I'm going to put the other block between the inner upper thighs. Get that strap right around the shin. Push down. Get the shoulders underneath. Squeeze the block. Lift the hips. And breathe. and then release it. Take a moment. And so I'm really prepping you all for Matsyendrasana, which we're moving towards, which for a lot of people can be a little bit intimidating because it doesn't often have a lot of support on the neck. And so I'm moving in kind of in increments and to show different variations. So I'm prepping the spine though first. Press down into the feet. Inhale, lift the hips. Shoulders underneath you. Lift the hips. And then release. You can remove the strap. Remove the block. Squeeze the knees into your chest. Roll to your right. And you're going to keep just putting your right hand down. You're going to slowly come up. Your head and neck is released, and it comes up last. And then from here, you're going to straighten the legs. So the feet are up against the wall. You want in this one, we do this two ways. One block goes across. This block is at its lowest. Now, if this doesn't feel good on the neck, of course, just elevate it. Feet are against the wall. You're going to come back. And you're going to put the block right into the middle part of the spine. The bottoms of your wings should just graze the side. And then your head drops back. Again, prepping for fish pose here. There's still support on the neck though. Bring your arms over your head. Now, oh shoot, just knocked my tea over. Oh, casualty. It's a good thing I've got my hair towel. So I'll just sop that up real quick. So if it's too much on the neck, then you want to go ahead and elevate it, or even put a towel or a blanket over it to give it a little bit extra lift. And with the hands, sometimes I like to grab a strap between the hands or even hold an additional block between the palms. Otherwise, keep your arms straight and actually turn your pinkies in towards each other slightly. Keep breathing. And then bring the arms up. Place the hands onto the floor, elbows are bent. And then in one movement, you want to bring your torso up, straighten the arms, and come into Dandasana, staff pose for a moment. Take a breath here. And now from here, you're going to remove the block. Either we're going to repeat that, or you're going to take a blanket instead of the block. You can fold the blanket over once if you want to. And we're going to do the same thing again. This time, the head is going to come back. Bring your arms straight up. And then reach the arms over the head. Bring the arms back up. Then bring your forearms down to the floor, palms are flat. And in one movement, you're gently going to bring your torso up. And then from here, push into the fingertips, come into staff pose. Take a breath. Now you're going to move the blanket. Move the block. You're going to come down onto your forearms. You're going to keep your feet up against the wall. Elbows are right underneath where your shoulders are. You're going to lift the chest and squeeze the shoulders in. Tops of the thighs press down. And then let your head and neck drop back. Bring your chin up, straighten the arms, come back into staff. Take a moment here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale with a lion's breath. Do that again, deep breath in. Exhale with a lion's breath. From here, see if I want to teach. No, I'll do it. Let's do camel using 2 blocks against the wall. So just bring your pelvis as close to the wall as you can. Knees are separated, hips width apart. The blocks are next to the feet. The hips press into the wall, the tailbone lifts. Elbows squeeze in, hands drop back. So you're going to jut your chin forward, and then if you can, elongate and let the head and neck drop back. Lift the chest. Inhale, come up, and then drop your buttocks right onto your heels. Take a moment. And then you're going to take your chair, put your chair up against the wall. You're going to turn around. I'm going to put a blanket right on the chair just because. You're going to put a block between your feet, your ankles. Depending on your flexibility, your ankles are kind of lined up with the very edge. Tailbone in. You're going to reach back, grab hold of the sides of the chair. Squeeze your shoulders in towards each other and let your head and neck drop back. Hips forward. Some of you can now walk your hands down and just grab hold of actually the seat. Lift the chest up, head and neck remains dropped back. And then some of you can slide your hands down a bit, grabbing hold of the legs, chest up, And then inhale, come up. And then sit back onto the block. Let your chin come down, stretching the back of the neck. And then from there, keep the chair where it is. Remove the block. You're going to take your blanket. I'm going to take both blankets and stack them. Getting into this is always a little tricky. It just depends on just kind of your body. I like to bring my feet on either side of the chair, slide the butt down, get my shoulders right at the edge. For some of you, you're going to prefer 2 blankets, some 3, some 1. It just depends on just the mobility of your neck. I used to use none for years and years and developed something as a result of overworking shoulder stand and headstand called military neck, where you actually flatten the curve of your spine, and have had to work for years to get that natural curve back. So in shoulder stand, I always work with blankets, just so that natural curve can be maintained and then there's no pressure. Now I'm going to put the feet right at the edge of the chair. I'm going to lift the hips. Now when you lift your hips, your torso travels, and that means that the shoulders are now going to push forward. So you want to make sure that you get those shoulders on to the blanket. Either interlace your fingers or grab the chair if your arms have that kind of length. Lift the hips. Take a moment here. Then you're going to release the chair or your interlaced fingers and put your hands onto your lower back and just climb in a little bit, grabbing. I like to take my thumb and my index finger, bend the wrist, and push into the back ribs, and then get my hands into position. And then the right leg lifts. Put that right foot down. And then the left leg lifts. And then put the left foot down. Lift the hips up higher. And then slowly, I'm going to just get the shoulders not being so crunched in. So you release the shoulders and then put your buttocks back down. Make any little minor adjustment that you need to. Now your calves are right onto the seat. Take a moment here. Okay, let's do this one more time. Feet on the edge. Lift the hips. Hold either the chair or interlace, or if you want, you get your hands into that lower back. Hips lift. And now here, you can either do that one leg at a time option. No, I'm not going to teach that. Never mind. I was going to teach something a little bit more advanced, but not today. And then go ahead and lower it. From here, you're going to bring your feet off of the chair, roll to your side, put your hand onto the floor, keep rolling, and then press the arms straight. Your head and neck hangs. And then just here, just gently turn your right chin towards your right shoulder until you find that tight spot in your neck and you just hang there. And then bring your chin to your left shoulder, turning the neck. Bring it back to neutral and then sit all the way up. You're going to move that chair. From here, actually just sit up tall for a moment just so the neck neutralizes. Now from here, you're going to lay back again onto your blanket. Put your feet up onto the wall. Inhale, lift your hips so your feet are on the wall. The knees are bent. Now you get your left shoulder, then the right shoulder more underneath. Support your lower back. And use the wall to try to press the hips slightly forward. Be careful here so there's not pressure on the neck. And then maybe walk your legs up more so they're straight. So you're in this particular variation of shoulder stand. Just letting all the blood, the fluid drain down into the thyroid gland, the hypothalamus, the neck vertebra, the esophagus. And then bend the knees, put the feet on the wall. Slowly begin to come out, lowering your pelvis. Take a moment, walk your feet down the wall a little bit more. Roll to your side, top arm, hand on the floor, keep rolling. Head and neck come up last. And then sit up tall, just for a moment, letting the neck just find its way back into neutral. And then from here, you're going to take your chair and you're going to put it over this way. You're going to put your blankets in front of the chair, because your head is going to go here and your feet are going to go here. So you might need to make little adjustments. Hands onto the floor. You're going to bring your legs up and you're going to put your shins onto the seat. Now, if you'll notice, I put my chair half on my mat, half on my chair on the floor. So it's just a little easier to slide. There we go. So that my shins are comfortably onto the seat. It can go back even further also if you want your feet on it. Now you're going to lift those hips. So the action is, right now my back is quite rounded, and you want to bring the pelvis into the body so the tailbone lifts, the sit bones lift up. So you can see it's like there's a hook onto those bones and you're lifting them up, and then hand onto the lower back. And then either stay here. You'll notice here I've got my toes curled under and my thighs lifting, so there's a lot of engagement. And then maybe some of you can bring one leg up, spin the inner thigh in, and then the other leg, and come into shoulder stand. Or just stay in that variation of halasana. And then you're going to bring your toes back onto the chair. And then everybody, you're going to slowly roll out. Hands come to the floor. And as you bend your knees, put your feet onto the ground. You're going to come up onto the forearms. Lift the chest and let the head and neck drop back. Inhale, bring the chin back up. Cross the legs. You're going to lean up. And then from here, you can move your blankets, shift your weight back, straighten the legs, hands onto the floor. Inhale, lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, you want to come on up. You can go ahead and move the chair away. And then lay out onto your backs. And you're going to squeeze your right knee in. You're going to rotate your right leg over the left. The right foot hooks around the left thigh or right behind the knee. Use your elbows on the floor to turn the torso more so both shoulders are now on the ground, and then reach the right arm out and close your eyes. Hold here for a moment. And now just keeping your eyes closed. Just feeling into any tension in your mouth and jaw. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and later on you can explore them more. First question would be, to what degree do you allow yourself to communicate your deepest feelings or your most sincere truth to yourself? To what degree do you allow yourself to communicate your deepest feelings or your most sincere truth to yourself and to others? Do you or have you lied in order to protect yourself? Is there clarity to your dialogue, your communication? Do you live your truth? Squeeze that right knee back into your chest. Release it, and then switch sides. Squeeze your left knee in. Drop your left knee over that right leg. Reach the left arm out. You want to just press into the arms so you can turn your torso more, get both shoulders on the floor, and then look out over that left shoulder and close your eyes. Do you become frightened when you have to speak up for yourself? Are you honest and committed when fulfilling your word? Do you use your words in a way that can be hurtful or diminishing or disempowering to others? Do you gossip? And later on, explore about your self-expression. What keeps you from fully communicating your truth to either yourself or to others or to this world? Were you taught to keep quiet? Were you taught to be seen and not heard, or that your thoughts, opinions, creativity wasn't valued? Do you dominate conversations or not listen to others? And if that's true, write about why and what it creates as a result. And then also write about what unfinished communication might be creating obstacles in your life, and look at the narratives that you've been working on. Is there something that needs to be said, either to yourself or to others, that can help you to heal, move on, transcend, and connect with your higher self? And what's keeping you from speaking those truths? What changes might be being asked of you if you were to fully express yourself and to be in that truth? And then squeeze your left knee into your chest. Extend both legs straight out in front of you and close your eyes. And just let yourself get as comfortable here on the floor as you can. I'm going to take a very deep breath in. Exhale it out through the mouth. For the next few moments, just let your whole body relax. Be cognizant of what came up for you in this practice, focusing your attention on this part of your body to such a degree. Every time we practice yoga, we're always releasing tension from one area than the other. But the one area in our body that we don't stretch often enough throughout our practice is our mouth and our jaw. And as a result, this area becomes really congested. To deliberately release it throughout the class can feel, for some, liberating. For others, can make you feel very vulnerable. It's like that final frontier of where control, or what we perceive to be as control, gets harbored. Relax your eyes and the skin on your face. Soften your lips, your tongue. The skin around your mouth. Relax your upper jaw. Relax your lower jaw. Relax your teeth. Soften any tension in your throat, your esophagus, and your neck. Relax your shoulders. Let everything go. Let your whole body melt into the earth. And rest. Bring your attention back to your breath. Inhale and reach your arms up over your head and get a good stretch as you come back into the space. Squeeze your knees into your chest. And then roll to your side and gently come back into a seated position. You're going to take your hands and just gently put your fingers right into the sides of the neck. And just rub into the neck, gently massaging yourself. Feeling into any tight spots. Maybe take a moment letting the ear come down towards the left shoulder and focusing on the right side of the neck. And then switching, letting that right ear come down to the right shoulder. And coming back into neutral, and bring your fingers into the jaw, right where the upper and the lower jaw hinges. Just massaging into the jaw, making little circles. And then sit up tall. You're going to come into the Vishuddha Mudra. You're going to interlace your fingers with your interlaced fingers up, not down. Making a bowl with your hands, thumbs touching. Your hands come right to the center point. We'll take 3 Om Hum Namaha. Take a deep breath in. Really feel into the vibration. Om Hum Namaha. Om Hum Namaha. Om Hum Namaha. And then 3 Satnams. Take a deep breath in. Satnam. 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 And then place your palms into Anjali Mudra. Take another deep breath in. Exhale out through the mouth. And then we close our time together by giving thanks to God for these practices that allow us to confront the limiting beliefs that we carry so that we can fully call our power back, develop our self-esteem, trust our inner knowing, allow for congruency between the heart and the head so that the words that we speak and the ways in which we communicate are aligned with truth, with love, and with wisdom. We ask for continued clarity and insight and fearlessness as we confront the lies that we have told ourselves are true and the root causes of those lies so that we can heal ourselves of these limiting beliefs and grow more empowered, more truthful, more self-expressed. And may that self-expression lead to peace within and for all. And then together we offer this blessing with one single Om. Take a deep breath in. Om. And lower your chin to your chest. Open your eyes and inhale. Come up. Thank you so much for class. Namaste.